Have you ever found yourself playing Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 and just, you know, watching the intro and just thinking to yourself, wow, it's a very bleak reality. It's very just dark, cynical almost. And you start to think about it and it's like, even some of the characters, you know, just hate everything. Like Francis. Francis hates everything. He even lets everyone in the group and the player know subsequently that he doesn't like anything. And honestly, I was rattling that thought around in my head one day, and I kind of thought, what if I try and find everything Francis likes? Would that actually kind of paint a better picture about who Francis is as a whole? So let's do that. And before we begin, I am gonna have some background footage, just randomly playing. It's not gonna be about Francis or anything in particular. It's just gonna be me playing, and it's just filler. So if you see that and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird, just know that's what's happening. But where was I? Oh yeah, Francis. And I think honestly the best way to really start talking about what Francis likes is talking about his fellow survivors and how he sort of interacts with them and how he, kind of gains a dialogue with them, kind of sort of. All right, firstly is Zoe, and honestly their relationship is more of a sibling dynamic from what I've seen. It doesn't really, go past a certain point. And I think the best example of that would be the helicopter pilot that, Zoe subsequently had to shoot in order for them to escape. And Francis he just won't let her forget that at all.
I still can't believe you shot the pilot.
He turned into a zombie, Francis. He wasn't gonna land the thing.
Well, I guess now we'll never know, will we? Hey, Zoe, here's the pilot, in case you want to shoot him again.
He was a zombie, Francis.
And with Bill, he kind of has more of a father-son dynamic with him where he kind of messes with him, but ultimately he does respect him at, you know, when he needs to. And I think the best example would be like for that, the boats and the sacrifice.
How about this boat?
Francis, does it have a sail?
I think this car will float. What about this one? It comes with a truck.
Cut the horse shit, Francis.
Hey, there's a boat.
Not that boat, Francis.
And then of the original crew, there's only Lewis left, who he actually, kind of has a little turnaround in dialogue with them from, them insulting each other.
You're still wearing that tie, Lewis? What, you got a meeting?
That's funny, Francis. Why don't you take your mustache, your little vest, and your chaps and go find yourself a parade?
Not even wearing chaps.
To them actually getting along and even going so far as to insult an island.
Stupid island.
Punk Island.
Dumbass island shithole.
Punk ass island, bitch. You better watch yourself.
So before we officially mark Francis loving his fellow survivors as tally one for what Francis likes, I just want to point out also, like, probably the most damning evidence that he actually cares a little bit about his fellow survivors, and that's when he finds their incapacitated bodies and also, their unalive bodies, I guess you would say, on YouTube.
Ah, shit. I was just starting to like that guy. What the hell? She's dead.
Zoe?
Oh, shit. I'm gonna miss that old guy.
And just listen to him, especially like when he finds all of them are gone.
I hate this.
He's so pissed that all of his fellow survivors are dead that he just screams, "I hate this." I'm putting that down as tally one for what Francis likes, his fellow survivors. All right, and if we're gonna talk about Left 4 Dead 1 survivors, we have to talk about also the Left 4 Dead 2 survivors, since that game's relevant, I guess. But really kind of listening to the dialogue, there's only really one person that he kind of connects with in the Left 4 Dead 2 survivor group, and that's Rochelle. Don't get me wrong, he obviously has a connection with Nick in the sense that they both have the same symbols on. I think Nick has a ring and Francis has a tattoo of the same symbol. But they kind of seem like they hate each other. Whereas specifically with Rochelle, he's all over her. Like, that's the best way to put it.
Okay, if you lower the bridge, I will give you a kiss.
Kick ass! Now all you gotta do is get back into town, find some way to cross the river, fight your way to the other side of this bridge, refuel the generator, and get it back going. Then it's kissing time.
Yeah, that sounds simple.
Like, I'm not joking. Francis is really into Rochelle.
Hey, alright. While you guys were gone, I came up with a plan. To do this quicker, we should break up into teams. Guys, your shirts. Everybody else, skins. Now let's go.
You've been giving this a lot of thought, huh?
Should we leave you two alone?
No.
People, can we talk about lowering this bridge?
Go down and fill up that generator. We'll cover you from up here.
And honestly, I think it's because Francis sees that Rochelle also desperately just hates everything around her, too.
Ugh, I hate stairs.
Oh my god, you hate stuff too?
Sure. Never really thought about it, but yeah, I hate things. I hate those stairs.
I know.
I hate that bridge.
And also, to unfortunately the dismay of Zoe, they sometimes connect on Deepak Mode, which is the band featured on Rochelle's shirt throughout literally all of the campaigns of Left 4 Dead 2.
Hey, Rochelle. Deepak Mug. Classy.
Thanks. Nice vest.
Francis? Him? Are you kidding?
What?
Really?
She's a woman of taste.
Yeah, I am. But for now, we just want to get our car over the bridge.
Taking it slow, huh? I can respect that.
You guys need to go down and fill up the generator, and I'm gonna go throw up.
Also, fun fact, if Rochelle somehow, managed to insult Francis and subsequently his vest, he wants nothing to do with her.
I hate your vest.
I know. Wait. What now? I don't think this is gonna work out. Hope you don't hate filling generators up with gas. Elevators over there.
Also, I should throw it out there that Francis does actually give a little bit of a compliment to Ellis and his car. Or, well, I guess it's technically Jimmy Gibbs' car, isn't it?
Man, nice ride.
Yeah, belonged to a little someone you might have heard of named Jimmy Gibbs Jr.
That's amazing. You mean this car used to belong to the taco dog?
I know. Wait, what? Jimmy Gibbs Jr. was a legend.
Yep, you got that right. That dog made some damn good tacos. I wonder whatever happened to that
Can
dog.
we not talk about
Hope
dogs?
he's okay.
Hello, morons. I think we have a bridge to lower.
Which he does technically confuse Jimmy Gibbs with a dog. That doesn't necessarily mean he didn't, compliment that car, which he did. So that's another 2 tally marks. One for Rochelle specifically, and another for Ellis' car. Alright, we're coming to point number 4, I guess you could say, and that would be Fish. And Francis's hatred for them, but also his kind of, I guess, love of eating them. So it's kind of it's weird.
Francis, you ready to get to the Keys and have ourselves a seafood feast?
I hate fish.
Well, hater, I guess you don't have to eat any then.
Oh no, I like eating them. That's one of the ways I let fish know how much I hate them.
Point number 5, he loves America. Or, well, he doesn't really say that, but you know, he does really say a lot that he hates Canada for some reason.
Riverside? I hate Canada.
Canada? Francis, we're in Pennsylvania.
Oh my god, I hate Canada so much.
So maybe he's so patriotic for America that it's just bleeding into his hatred for Canada. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. He doesn't really say he likes America. I've looked everywhere, but all I could really find is that he just doesn't like Canada. I think Zoe also doesn't like Canada, so maybe that's what's going on. Maybe he's just really patriotic. Alright, for point 6, it seems this is kind of either a toss-up, how some people interpret this. Some people think he's just being sarcastic in this moment. Others actually do believe that he did have a head injury for a second. But at one point in Crash Course, he does technically say he loves helicopters.
Wow, I love helicopters. I love them so much.
You what? Francis, are you alright?
Whoa, must have hit my head in the crash. I'm okay now. I hate helicopters.
Alright, for number 7, he likes Christmas. Or at least, you know, mentioning it every single time he can.
Merry Christmas.
Alright, for number 8, this is a little bit of a conjecture, so, you know, take this as you will, but at, you know, one point he's talking about how he hates islands and how he's, you know, once he gets to the island, he's going to start hating it.
Francis, what's the first thing you're gonna do when we get to the island?
Start hating it.
You don't hate it already?
Yeah, I guess I hate it now too.
Man, this is gonna be a long rest of our lives.
I seriously doubt it.
But there's another quote where he's specifically talking about how he has a fear of islands. So I think maybe his hate of islands is kind of forced, and maybe, you know, there's a chance he wants to love the island that they eventually go to.
Hey, Lewis, did I ever mention how I feel about islands?
Come on, Francis, give it a rest.
No, I'm being serious. I really hate islands. I have insulaphobia. I'm afraid of islands.
Are you joking?
No, man, it's a medical condition. Just my goddamn luck.
Shit, Francis. When we get there, I got your back. I'm gonna keep an eye on that island for you.
Stupid island.
Punk Island.
Dumbass island, shithole.
Punk ass island, bitch. You better watch yourself.
Alright, tally mark, point, whatever you want to call it, number 9. He loves Steam.
Oh yeah, I love steam. I just hate the pipes.
Alright, for the 10th thing Francis likes, it's lasagna.
Unless it's lasagna Mondays. I love lasagna.
Alright, so this last thing should be a shock to absolutely no one. But it's Francis's love of vests over everything else. Everything that's around him, that's happening, he doesn't care for that. But he really loves vests.
I hate hospitals. And doctors and lawyers and cops.
Francis, is there anything you don't hate?
You know what I don't hate? I don't hate vests.
And yeah, that's everything Francis hates. Which, you know, it's not a lot. Let's be real with ourselves here. But in terms of everything Francis hates, it's at least 1/100th of, you know, subsequently everything he hates. So, I mean, you know, even though his pool of very cherished items is very small, you know, he keeps it real. And I guess technically that's also another point. He loves keeping it real. He loves to show people, hey, I don't like that. And, you know, can't fault someone for that. Anyway, I think this is a really good time to end the video. If you did make it this far, please subscribe and like. That helps me out so much. And you know, it tells me that you kind of want to see more content like this. I know it's been a long time since I've made stuff like this. I think it's been at least a year since I've made a video like this of any capacity. So, you know, how'd I do? Is my mic better? You know, let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it. Peace.